Welcome to our deep dive on generative AI in travel.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
We're going deep into a report called Navigating the Future from Amadeus.
Amadeus, yeah.
Yeah.
You know them.
Yeah, they're kind of the behind-the-scenes folks that power a lot of travel tech.
Right, exactly. Like they're the ones that make sure when you book a flight
Yeah.
or hotel that actually like goes through.
They're kind of the unsung heroes.
Yeah, and because they work with like everyone,
Yeah.
all like the different parts of the industry,
Yeah.
airlines, hotels, travel agents, they have a really interesting perspective on how this whole AI thing is shaking things up.
Yeah, they really do. They've got their fingers on the pulse.
So is it all hype or is generative AI really the real deal for travel?
Well, the report surveyed a ton of travel tech leaders,
Oh, wow.
and over 80% of them said that generative AI is their top or high priority right now.
Really?
Yeah, like it's even beating out things like data management and cloud computing.
Wow, that's a pretty strong signal.
It is like AI is obviously a big deal, but why is it all happening so fast in the travel industry specifically?
Well, the travel industry was hit really hard by the pandemic,
Oh yeah.
and they had to adapt super quickly
Yeah.
to doing things digitally. And so generative AI is kind of coming in at just the right time
Yeah.
to meet this like huge demand for personalized travel experiences.
I see. So it's almost like the industry was kind of primed for this type of disruption.
Exactly. Yeah. And the report talks about how companies are already using generative AI in like a ton of different ways.
Okay, so like give me some examples. What's actually changing for travelers like me?
Okay, so think about all of those like AI chatbots that are kind of popping up everywhere.
Oh yeah.
The report says that companies are already using them for things like personalized travel recommendations.
Oh, interesting.
So imagine getting suggestions for like hotels and activities that are actually tailored to your interests,
Okay.
not just generic stuff.
Yeah, so it's like having a personal travel agent who knows my style. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
I know.
Especially for someone like me who hates like spending hours researching trips.
Right, and that's just the beginning.
Right.
They're also using it for content creation.
Okay.
So like generating those super polished travel blogs
Oh.
and Instagram posts that make you want to book a flight right away.
Oh, so it's not even just about booking. It's
Uh-huh.
like inspiring people to travel.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's not just what travelers see, you know?
Yeah.
Generative AI is also being used behind the scenes to streamline operations.
Right.
So think of all the like complex logistics involved in managing flights,
Yeah.
hotels, transportation, all that. This tech can automate a lot of that,
Yeah, that makes sense. So less headaches for the people running things
right?
and hopefully smoother trips for us.
Exactly.
But I have to ask, like, what about the downsides?
Sure.
Every new tech has challenges.
Of course, there are always challenges.
Yeah. So what are some of the big ones that they're worried about?
Well, one of the big concerns highlighted in the report is the shortage of people who actually know how to build these AI systems.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a new field that finding the right talent is a major bottleneck.
Yeah, that's a classic problem with any new tech.
Is.
Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
But finding the people who can do it right is a whole other challenge.
Exactly.
So what else are they worried about?
Well, data security and privacy are huge concerns.
Yeah, for sure.
This tech relies on mountains of data, so keeping that information safe is paramount.
Yeah,
And then there's the whole question of return on investment.
right.
Like, will all this investment actually pay off?
Yeah, so it's not just about the cool factor. It's about making sure it actually, like, makes business sense.
Right, exactly.
But it sounds like they're at least aware of the risks.
They are?
So what are they doing to address them?
Well, one of the things they're emphasizing in the report is that companies are taking security super seriously.
Okay.
They're using things like data encryption.
Data encryption.
Yeah. Which basically scrambles your data.
Okay.
So it's unreadable to anyone who shouldn't have access.
So they're not just throwing caution to the wind.
No, they're not.
It's good to hear they're putting some safeguards in place.
Yeah. And remember, we talked about secure software development practices.
Yeah.
It's not just about adding security as an afterthought.
Right.
It's about baking it into the software from the ground up.
Oh, so they're trying to build security into the whole process.
Exactly. And the report also suggests that a lot of companies are realizing they don't have to do this alone.
Yeah.
Partnering with vendors who specialize in AI can help them get up to speed faster and avoid some of those growing pains.
That makes a lot of sense. Why reinvent the wheel
Right.
when you can collaborate with experts?
Exactly.
But how do they actually know if all this AI stuff is working? What are they measuring?
Well, according to the report, the top two metrics are return on investment and customer satisfaction.
Okay, so it's not just about shiny new tech. It's about tangible results.
Right.
I like that. This has been a great overview,
Yeah.
but I'm ready to like really dive deep into some of the specific ways that generative AI is changing the travel experience.
Yeah, let's do it. We can unpack some of the most interesting use cases next.
Cool. Let's do it.
So let's dive into one area that's already buzzing with generative AI customer support. The report found that over half of travel companies are using it to power those digital assistants,
Okay. Yeah.
that help you book your trip.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those popping up more and more on travel sites.
Right.
But honestly, sometimes they're more frustrating than helpful.
I know what you mean.
How is AI going to make them like actually useful?
Yeah, it's about moving beyond those basic chatbots
Right.
that can only answer a limited set of questions.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine you're planning a trip to, let's say, Japan.
Okay.
Always a good choice.
Yeah.
Instead of just searching through endless lists of hotels and tours,
Yeah.
you could just tell a generative AI assistant your travel dates, your budget, and what you're interested in.
It's like hiking temples, maybe try some amazing ramen.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. I'm a terrible planner.
And this is where it gets good. The AI takes all that information
Yeah.
and whips up a personalized itinerary just for you.
Oh, wow.
Flights, hotels, even suggestions for restaurants and activities, all tailored to your preferences.
Wow, that would take so much pressure off of planning a trip.
I know, right?
Especially somewhere like Japan where there's just so much to see and do.
Exactly.
But what if things change, once
Yeah.
I'm there?
Yeah, this is where it gets even cooler. These AI assistants aren't just for planning.
Okay.
They can provide support throughout your whole trip.
Really?
Yeah, like flight gets delayed.
Uh-huh.
No problem.
Nah.
Your AI assistant can find you a new connection.
Oh, wow.
Even book you a lounge to wait in.
Okay, now that is impressive. So it's like having a personal travel agent in my pocket.
Exactly. Available 24/7 to answer questions, solve problems.
Wow.
Make sure your trip goes smoothly.
That's amazing. Sign me up. But speaking of personalized experiences.
Yeah. The report also mentioned something about AI recommendations.
Yes, nearly half of the companies surveyed are already using generative AI to create those personalized recommendations.
Oh, wow.
So instead of getting bombarded with generic tourist traps,
Yeah.
imagine getting suggestions for hidden gems that align with your unique interests.
Okay, that would be amazing. No more like sifting through those cookie cutter top 10 lists.
Exactly.
But how does it actually work?
Yeah.
Does it like read my mind?
Well, not quite mind reading, but it's getting close.
Okay.
Generative AI can tap into your past travel history,
Uh-huh.
things you've liked or shared on social media, even quizzes or surveys you filled out.
Wow.
It's all about building a picture of what you like
Yeah.
and suggesting things you'll actually enjoy.
So it's like it learns what kind of traveler I am,
Yeah,
and it gets better over time.
exactly.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited about
I
this.
know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's not just about suggesting places to go.
Yeah.
Generative AI can also create personalized content.
Oh, really?
So think about travel blogs or destination guides.
Right.
You could literally have AI generate content.
Wow.
It's specifically relevant to your interests.
Okay, stop. That is genius. Instead of like spending hours scrolling through blog posts,
Right.
I could just have AI give me the highlights tailored to my trip.
Exactly.
This is starting to sound less like science fiction
I know.
and more like the future of travel.
And it goes beyond just the stuff that travelers see.
Right.
Remember we talked about how generative AI can streamline operations?
Yeah, the behind-the-scenes magic.
Travel companies are using it to automate all sorts of tasks.
Okay.
Think managing bookings, scheduling flights, coordinating transportation, even handling customer service inquiries.
Okay, I can see how that would make things run more smoothly.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk of like jobs being lost if AI is doing all the work?
It's a valid concern, but the report suggests that it's not about replacing humans altogether. It's more about freeing up human employees to focus on tasks that require creativity, empathy, problem-solving skills, things AI isn't so good at.
So it's more about collaboration than competition.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, and ultimately, it should lead to a better experience for everyone.
Yeah.
Smoother operations for the travel companies.
Right.
And more personalized, enjoyable trips for travelers like you.
Okay, this is all very exciting.
Yeah.
But we kind of have to talk about the elephant in the room,
Sure.
data privacy.
Of course.
Earlier, we mentioned that companies are taking security seriously.
Yeah.
But can you give me some like specifics? What are they actually doing to protect my data?
Yeah. You're right to be cautious.
Yeah.
The report highlighted a few key things.
Okay.
Remember we talked about data encryption?
Yeah, scrambling the data so it's unreadable.
Right, exactly. Think of it like a secret code
Okay.
that only authorized people can crack.
Ah,
So when you enter your information on a travel website,
Yeah.
it gets converted into this jumbled mess
Okay.
that's impossible to decipher without the right key.
Okay.
So even if someone managed to get hold of the data,
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't be able to make sense of it.
Okay, so it's like a digital lockbox for my data.
Exactly what other safeguards are they using?
What else?
A lot of companies are also implementing those secure software development practices
Yeah.
we talked about earlier.
Right.
It's basically a fancy way of saying
Yeah.
they're building security into the very foundation of the software.
I get that. But can you give me like a real-world example?
Sure, think about it like this.
Okay.
Imagine you're building a house.
Okay.
You could add an alarm system
Yeah.
and security cameras after it's finished.
Uh-huh.
But it's much more effective to incorporate security measures right from the start.
Right.
Like reinforced doors and windows.
Okay, that's a good analogy. So they're not just adding security as an afterthought.
Right.
They're like thinking about it from the very beginning of the design process.
Exactly. And they're also making sure to comply with all those data protection regulations.
Okay.
Like GDPR in Europe
Yeah.
and CCPA in California.
Those are the ones that are supposed to keep companies from doing shady things with our data, right?
Yep, they set strict rules about how companies can collect,
Yeah.
use, and store personal information.
Okay.
And companies know that if they don't follow the rules, they can face hefty fines
Right.
and damage to their reputation.
Yeah, so it's not just about good intentions. There are like actual legal consequences if they mess up.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes me feel a bit more comfortable.
Good.
But even with all these precautions, I think some people might still be hesitant
Sure.
to share their data with these AI-powered systems.
It's understandable.
Is that a valid concern?
It's totally understandable to be cautious.
Yeah.
We've all heard those horror stories about data breaches
Yeah.
and companies misusing personal information.
Right.
But it's important to remember that generative AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
It's up to us as users and as a society to demand transparency and accountability from the companies that are developing and using these systems.
So it's not just about blindly trusting the tech.
No.
It's about holding companies responsible for using it ethically.
Exactly. And that means demanding clear explanations about how their AI systems work and what data they're using.
Right.
It also means pushing for regulations that protect our privacy
Right.
and ensure that our data is used responsibly.
This has been a really insightful look at how generative AI is changing the game in travel.
It has.
I'm definitely excited about the possibilities,
Yeah.
but also mindful of the potential risks.
That's the right approach. It's a fascinating and rapidly evolving field.
It is.
So it's crucial to stay informed
Yeah.
and engaged in the conversation as this technology continues to shape the future of travel.
Before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your take on the big picture.
Sure.
What does the future hold for generative AI in travel?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. As the technology gets more sophisticated,
Right.
we can expect even more personalized and seamless travel experiences.
Okay.
One area that I find particularly fascinating is the potential for creating truly immersive travel experiences.
Okay. Immersive. Paint me a picture.
Okay, imagine this. You're planning a trip to, say, Rome.
Okay, Rome. Yeah.
But before you even book your flight,
Uh-huh.
you put on a VR headset
Okay.
and step into a virtual simulation of the city.
Oh, wow.
You can walk the streets, explore the Colosseum, even try out different restaurants and hotels.
Wait, seriously, that's like a test drive for your vacation.
Exactly.
I could see how that would be super helpful for deciding where to go and what to do.
And it's not just about sightseeing. Imagine being able to practice your Italian
Oh, yeah.
with a language learning program
Okay.
that feels like you're actually in a cafe in Rome.
Wow.
Or getting a personalized tour guide that adapts to your interests and pace as you explore the city virtually.
Okay, that is mind-blowing.
That's pretty cool.
But what about the people who worry that virtual travel will replace real travel?
I think it's more likely to enhance real travel.
Okay.
Think about it. If you can experience a destination virtually beforehand,
Uh-huh.
you'll go in with a deeper understanding and appreciation for the place.
That's true.
And you might even discover hidden gems that you wouldn't have found on your own.
So it's like a preview that gets you even more excited about the real trip.
What other trends are you keeping an eye on?
What else?
Another area I'm really excited about is the potential for generative AI to help us travel more sustainably.
Ooh, sustainable travel is so important.
It is.
But how can AI actually make a difference there?
Well, imagine using AI to optimize travel routes
Okay.
to minimize carbon emissions,
Wow.
or using it to promote eco-friendly transportation options and accommodations.
So it's about using technology to make smarter,
Right.
more responsible travel choices.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to make travel more sustainable and equitable
Yeah.
for everyone involved, the travelers,
Right.
like the communities we visit,
Yeah.
and the planet itself.
This deep dive has been eye-opening.
It has.
It's clear that generative AI has the power to transform the travel industry in ways we can barely imagine.
It does.
But it's important that we approach these changes with both excitement and a healthy dose of caution.
I completely agree. As this technology continues to evolve, it's crucial that we stay informed,
Yeah.
engage in open discussions,
Yeah.
and advocate for responsible and ethical development.
Well said. And to all our listeners out there, remember to be curious, ask questions, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
Right.
The future of travel is being written right now,
It is.
and your voice matters.
It does.
Well, speaking of impacts, this has been a fantastic overview.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to dig deeper into some of the potential risks and challenges of generative AI in travel.
Okay.
Things like bias and algorithms and the impact on jobs. Those are crucial questions. Let's dive into those in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the exciting, possibilities of generative AI
Yeah.
in travel, but now I kind of want to get into
Hmm.
some of the potential downsides.
Yeah.
There are always trade-offs with new tech.
Absolutely. And with a technology as powerful as generative AI,
Yeah.
it's crucial to be aware of those potential risks.
So let's jump right in. What are some of the things that worry you about this technology?
Well, one thing that keeps me up at night is the potential for these systems to, reinforce existing inequalities.
Okay.
We've seen this with other types of algorithms where biased data can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
Yeah, can you give me a travel-specific example?
Sure.
How could that bias actually play out?
So imagine a travel recommendation AI
Okay.
that's trained on data that primarily features luxury hotels
Okay.
and high-end experiences.
So it's only seen the fancy stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if someone on a tight budget asks for recommendations.
Yeah. The AI might not suggest budget-friendly options,
Okay.
even if those would be a better fit for their needs and interests.
So it's not that the AI is intentionally discriminating.
Right.
It's just that it's limited by the data that's been fed.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like that saying garbage in, garbage out.
Right, right.
Right.
Yeah, and this can have real consequences for travelers,
Yeah,
especially those who are already marginalized or underrepresented.
absolutely.
So it's not just about making travel more efficient or personalized.
Right.
It's about making sure those benefits are accessible to everyone.
Exactly. And that requires a conscious effort to ensure that the data used to train these AI systems is diverse and representative.
Okay, so biased data is one concern.
Yeah.
What else should we be watching out for?
Another big one is the lack of transparency.
Okay.
A lot of these AI systems feel like black boxes.
Yeah.
We don't really know how they're making decisions
Yeah.
or what data they're using.
Yeah, it can be kind of creepy. You get these recommendations and you're like, how did it know that?
Exactly. And that lack of transparency can erode trust.
Yeah.
If we don't understand how these systems work, it's hard to know if they're acting in our best interests.
So what can be done about that?
Yeah.
How do we get companies to open up the black box a bit?
Well, it starts with demanding clear explanations
Okay.
about how these AI systems operate.
Yeah.
Companies need to be more upfront about the data they're using
Right.
and the logic behind their algorithms.
So no more hiding behind the technical jargon.
Exactly. They need to explain it in a way that everyday people can understand.
Right. And it's not just about understanding.
No.
Transparency also allows for greater accountability.
Exactly.
If we know how the AI is working,
Right.
we can better identify potential problems or biases
Absolutely.
and hold companies responsible for addressing them.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It's about empowering users
Mm.
to make informed decisions about how they interact with these AI systems.
Yeah.
But let's be real, a lot of people are probably more worried about AI taking their jobs
Mm-hmm.
than about biased algorithms.
That's a valid concern and one that we need to take seriously.
Okay.
As AI systems become more sophisticated,
Yeah.
they will undoubtedly automate some tasks that are currently done by humans.
Okay, so some jobs will inevitably be lost.
It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
However, I think it's important to remember that AI can also create new jobs and
Uh-huh.
enhance existing ones.
So it's not necessarily a zero-sum game.
Exactly. Think about it. AI can handle those repetitive, time-consuming tasks,
Yeah.
freeing up humans to focus on more creative, strategic,
Yeah.
and interpersonal aspects of their work.
So things like building relationships with clients,
Exactly.
coming up with innovative travel experiences,
Right.
or solving those complex problems that require human intuition and judgment.
Absolutely. So it's more about AI and humans working together
Yeah.
than AI replacing humans altogether.
Okay, that's a much more optimistic outlook.
Right.
It's reassuring to hear that AI might not be the job-stealing monster that some people fear.
And remember, we're still in the early stages of this technology.
Right.
How it ultimately impacts the workforce will depend on how we choose to develop and implement it.
This deep dive has been both fascinating and thought-provoking.
Yeah, it has.
It's clear that generative AI is already shaping the future of travel.
It is.
But it's up to us to ensure that it's a future that benefits everyone.
I couldn't agree more. As this technology continues to evolve, it's crucial that we stay informed,
Right.
engage in open discussions,
Yeah.
and advocate for responsible and ethical development.
Well said. And to all you listeners out there,
Yeah.
remember to be curious, ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely.
The future of travel is being written right now,
It is.
and your voice matters.
It does. Safe travels, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the future of travel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insights and updates. Visit Tourism, Capturing the Scene of Knowledge, a comprehensive website delivering the latest travel trends and innovations. Accelerate your mastery of the tourism industry, all in one place. Navigate through a vast showcase of comprehensive business-oriented tourism content, 99% pure industry intelligence, and 1% academic, curated for discerning professionals. Why subscribe to Tourism? Capturing the Scene of Knowledge. Make informed decisions. Instantly access key reports and insights from top sources across the tourism industry. No research required. All in one place. Why split your attention? A single subscription gives you easy access to thousands of reports, videos, and infographics, just as effortlessly as watching a 30-second ad. Save time with curated searches. Time is money. Let our subscription save you both by delivering valuable insights directly without the endless search. Until next time, happy travels.